Hello, everybody. Welcome or welcome back to the Talk Podcast. No, don't be worried. We will still have a lot of English episodes. I just wanted to try something different. And I guess it was fun, but I will definitely stick to English episodes. So today I wanted to show you guys something that I've clicked on and I found very shocking. Yes, I have already taken a look, or I took a look. But we're gonna watch this together, and to me, it is mind blowing. It is shameful. It is disgusting, and it just brings up the question of: is she actually serious? Like, I know we're all different, and I know we all think differently, and also everyone has like a different idea of or level of intelligence and all that good stuff, right? And be mindful. One can be smart in one area and fail completely in another area. That's normal with humans, but this is mind blowing. So let's take a look.
That right there alone is a mouthful, but I'm gonna say my thoughts. Let's go ahead and check this out. Y'all, please help me understand this. My lights got turned off, so I called my baby's father and asked him if he could get my lights turned on for me. And he said no, because I have a husband and that's his responsibility. How is that his responsibility to pay my lights to get turned back on after they get turned off?
Okay, in case it's not clear enough, her lights in the house got turned off, and she thinks it's the responsibility of her ex, who she has children with. You all heard that term, baby daddy. They were not married, I'm guessing, or at least they're no more. And he's not in that household. Yes, he is the father of those children, but her expectation for her as an adult who's not living with that man anymore, who lives in that house, she thinks it's his responsibility to take care of that light bill. And now, mind you, because it's going to blow your mind, this woman who's sitting here and just yapping has a husband.
That you have kids that stay here. You don't care about your kids. I understand that I have a husband. Granted, don't beat me up over it. But we fell on hard times. So as my baby's father, I feel like you're supposed to pick up the slack.
No. And I am not in this kind of situation. Really don't want to find myself in this kind of situation because every time we watch situations like this, it's always difficult. Um, you're so wrong, Miss, whoever your name is. I'm so sorry to say, but the way she comes across is so rude, so much entitlement. Now, as an adult, everyone can tap into a tough situation, can fall into tough times. I get that. Now, you're in a tough time. Your new husband is in a tough time. These kids, the kids you have with your ex husband, they live with you, for what I understand. Now, is he responsible for his children? Yes, for sure. And I'm sure there are some kind of terms, agreements set up. I do not think that it is his responsibility to now pay your light bill. And even if you wanted that, okay, you could just ask. You could talk to that person in a way that would come across as humble, you know, seeking for kindness, approaching with kindness instead of approaching the whole situation with entitlement, right?
So you rather for your kids be in the dark than to help your baby mother get her lights turned back on? What if I didn't have a husband? Would you have helped me then? Eastman is crazy. Sir.
Well, good point that she just brought up, okay? If you didn't had a husband, I'm sure it would be so much easier for him to take on that responsibility, even though it is not. He should come into that picture and say, you know what? I'm going to take the kids, if that's the case. Or if he chooses, I'm going to pay this bill because his kids are in there. That is true. Like anything he feels the need to do to provide for the children, valid. Can we argue the fact that it could be very helpful and it makes sense to support the children? Because when the lights are turned off, the heating is turned off, the stove is turned off, right? So in the sake of those children, it would be so kind for that man to take over, but it's not his responsibility. Well, I do not see it that way. It's his responsibility to do anything possible to get his kids in the best position. But for you just yapping and, oh, my lights got turned off. Like, you're an adult. What happened? Why weren't you able to figure that out? This man is not in your life anymore. Yes, he's the father of those children and he needs to stand up for those kids, but the way you just presented it, and then even going to the internet to make this man look stupid, is so bad. And to be honest, you're not doing your kids any favor with this. I'm just going to say, you're not doing your kids any favor with this by going on the internet and thinking it's the right thing to expose their dad, who's not even your partner anymore, for doing what? Did he come over there to cut the lights? No. You and your new husband found yourself in a tough position, and I know that can happen to anyone, but we need to also ask questions. What happened? How did you both find yourself in a tough position, couldn't be able to figure this out, or not being able to communicate to the landlord or whatever to figure this out, right? And now you do have a man in your life. Like, think about it. What other man is going to think to himself, yes, there is a man who's capable, um, doing all the adult stuff with you in your life. He eats there, he sleeps there. He actually owns responsibility to that house because he lives there with you. But now you're thinking it's your ex who's going to pay those bills? That is so crazy. Like, people are so entitled. I struggle with accepting things from people, even asking. But there are people like her. It's mind blowing, no?
The men are crazy. Help me get my lights turned on. Don't worry about my husband. He's doing what he's supposed to do as a man. As my I'm gonna let it finish. I'm gonna let it finish.
Your husband should be ashamed right now. And I hope, like, because it seems to me, if this husband is aware of what you're doing, going on the internet and blasting him and your husband, like the ex and your husband, because you're not even doing your husband a favor. You're making this man look so stupid, incapable. Like, if he's supporting you on doing this, then you both are the perfect match.
Nah, this is trolling. This gotta be trolling. Baby daddy, you should be helping me. So there you guys have it.
You should be helping me. Talking out of your, I'm sorry, but I can't.
Her baby daddy does not want to chip in on that light bill that she cannot take care of. Her, as part of me, that her and her husband are struggling with taken care of. And she thinks that the baby daddy, because they got kids together, because the kids stay with her, he should be willing to chip in and help out. Listen, them kids can go stay with him until you and your husband get that figured out with that whole life situation. That's the reality of the situation. Because at no point in time should a man be covering the...
And I'm just assuming, hopefully, the dad of those kids is going to be someone responsible enough to understand and say, of course, if those kids cannot come over, I will find a way or different ways to help, support, like the kids. Like, come on now, don't. Oh, God.
The bills when there's another man underneath a roof for a woman who he's not even with. At no point in time should that ever even be an option. And the reality is, as a man, this says a lot. First off, let me back this up. First off, this says a lot about the man who she calls her husband. But then again, just based on this small video here alone, I'm pretty sure he has made several mistakes in life that has led him to this point where he's at right now, sitting in the dark with a woman like this. The reality is, any man who is about his business, has any type of pride and respect for himself and understanding what his duties and responsibilities are as a man, would not even allow another man to come in and be paying his bills and making sure that his family is okay. Wouldn't be happening. But this is where we're at, where we get women like this who jump on the internet saying crazy, wild stuff like this and thinking that it makes sense. And listen, social media has exposed us to these type of situations happening often, of women who cannot take care of their financial responsibilities and expect to be able to lean on the dad as far as being able to supplement what they are lacking when it comes to income. And the reality is, if you can't take care of them kids and keep the lights on, then they probably should go stay with their dad and let him handle it. Especially when you consider the fact that she got a whole grown ass man laying up in the house, and between the both of y'all can't figure that whole thing out. Because what she basically saying by asking him to do that, which is crazy, is she saying, yeah, cover and pay these bills for a house that another man live in and is busting me down in. I got a whole...
That is so crazy. Like, would you want your son to do that? Come
Old
on.
man in here who blowing my back out, running through me, but you should be taking care of the bills over here. I don't know where they do that at. And listen, she might just be dealing with some level of simp in her husband to even think of contriving this idea that a baby daddy should be taking care of her bills while she is still with another man, because this is absolutely wild. No, but that's what need to happen. But let's go ahead and check out some of these comments real quick. First commenter says he can pick up his child till your husband turn them back on. There you go. And she responded with, nope. There you go. Exactly. Listen.
So then don't make it about the kids. Because she tried to present it like, oh, you don't care about your kids. Those kids are in here. The lights are off. Don't make it about those kids, because there could have been a solution to at least make sure the kids have what they need during those periods of times where you and your husband are struggling, but you instantly come across saying no. So it's not about those kids.
Another commenter says, you mad at the wrong man. There you go. Got a whole man sitting in the house with the lights off, using all the batteries up for the flashlights. Another commenter says, if your husband is comfortable with you asking your baby daddy to get y'all lights turned back on, go and get yourself a new husband. Nah.
No, not even that. It's a situation. The fact I'm just thinking right now, stretching this. The fact that she feels so comfortable. It's one thing for you to say, okay, I will ask him. Even if you want to make this scenario with the kids the reason and whatnot, let's just say we accept that, and you ask him personally. You call him up, you meet him up, you talk to him. But it's a different scenario for you to now take the whole private situation and expose it on the internet. What are you trying to gain?
Stay with him. Don't go and get back out here in the data market.
So I'm just thinking she's been doing this, right? This is just the first time that she's saying it out loud and exposing her expectation and how she's been going about this. But I'm thinking this must be some kind of weird setting where the new man is a bum and she's totally fine with it. And in whatever scenarios, she has been taking money from her ex, using the kids as an excuse, not for things that actually are for the kids, that the kids need, but what they would need. And now it's such a tough situation where the lights are off. And now she's like, I mean, I've been asking him, I'm just thinking, I've been asking him for this and that probably worked out. Let me just go and drop this big bombshell and he's going to pay anyways.
Stay with him. She with the man who she deserved to be with. Because ain't no real man about to be okay with this BS. Another commenter says, this is a birth control ad. Another commenter says, take the kids to him until you get your lights back on. Another commenter says, it's the don't worry about my husband part. Well, if your husband was doing his part, your lights would be on. He fell on hard times. Listen, I get it. People do fall on hard times in life. That happens. But you get on the internet talking about you expect your baby daddy to pick up the slack, then them times not hard enough for the fact that he actually willing and okay with this happening. Another commenter says, sign your custody over to the children's father until you and your husband are financially stable. Would you pay the father's bills if the roles were reversed? Let's see if she responded back to that comment. Nope.
Of course she wouldn't. That's not even